All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another video. Okay, y'all, so last night we were talking about gatekeepers and contenders, who can be considered a gatekeeper and a contender in the flyweight division. So I just wanted to come back and do this video here, just kind of break it down, just kind of show the road to Valentina Shevchenko. And if you get to the top 5 or to the top 6, how it looks to get to her. You know, who are the fighters that stand in a contender's way, and why I call these certain fighters gatekeepers. Because I posted this on my community page a little while back, a few months back. I posted a picture on how I feel like it looks, how the road looks to Valentina Shevchenko, who stands in your way, like the certain fighters you get by to get to the champion. You know, I posted that a while back, and I call those fighters gatekeepers, but some people still said, no, they're just contenders. But to me, I call them gatekeepers. Now, I know traditionally gatekeepers are just considered that fighter that don't necessarily fit the bill. You know, they don't necessarily fit the contender bill. But for the flyweight division, I think it differs. I think it differs from traditional gatekeepers. You know, there's levels to gatekeepers now in the flyweight division. That's how it is, because you have your gatekeepers at the bottom, the middle, and at the top. You know, there's levels to it, seeing as most of the top 5 has already faced Valentina Shevchenko. You know, I call these fighters gatekeepers because they fought and lost and pretty much are subject to being guardians for the next threats and contenders, because they more than likely won't get a second title shot or a second shot at Valentina Shevchenko because they got dominated, right? Now, they could, you know, the number 1 and number 2, they could somehow go on like a 4 or 5 fight win streak and just legit earn a rematch that way. But more than likely, they are where they are at this point because they've already been dominated and they didn't show any hope against Valentina Shevchenko unless their name was Tyler Santos, right? So I just wanted to come back and do this video and kind of break this picture down. Like I said, now the picture before, it's definitely changed since then. Well, not a big change, but I just had to change one fighter out because that fighter fell down. But if y'all saw the picture before, I basically had these fighters in front of the champion, but in the middle, I had Jennifer Maia. You know, I had Jennifer Maia in the middle because I thought she was like that first fighter you have to fight as a gatekeeper. You know, get by her, then fight the number 1 and number 2 at the time, Chikagian or Andrade. Either one of them, and that'll get you a title shot, right? But now, since Jennifer Maia fell down the rankings, I put Lauren Murphy there instead. I put Lauren Murphy there just by default because she is the number 3 fighter. So this is how I have it lined up as the road to Valentina Shevchenko. These are the gatekeepers. Now, I know they are ranked in the top 5, but they are considered gatekeepers because Valentina Shevchenko pretty much dominated all 3 of these fighters. So since they couldn't get to the throne, they work for her. That's how it is, right? She's inside of the throne, and they are standing at each gate. Since they couldn't get the throne, they have to do the next best thing and keep the next fighter out. That's how she's posted up now. That's how she has them posted up. She's like, no, you can't have this. You ain't good enough to beat me. Go stand at your level. Just like in a game, right? That's what it is. You know, you got the main boss that you fight at the end, but before you get there, there's level 1 through 7 or something. You know, go back and play Mario. Y'all remember that game, right? So for me, in the middle, I would have the number 3, Lauren Murphy. Even though she is higher than Andrade, I would put her there because she's still a legit fighter. And like I said, all these other fights in the flyweight division are still 50-50. Her style matchup could be problems for other fighters because she is a veteran. You know, before she got to Valentina Shevchenko, she was on a 5-fight win streak, right? She's faced many a different styles. She's tough. She's still durable. She's big. She's strong. So for these other fighters, that could be a problem for them. Her style could frustrate them. You know, Valentina handled her with ease in 4 rounds and stopped her. But these other fighters, they might go 5 rounds or they might lose to her, right? She's already proven that she could beat some of these fighters. So I would say she's number 3. Even though she's number 3, she would be that first gatekeeper that you would get to because she is going to be that fighter for Miesha Tate. She is that test for her. And we all know that unfortunately, if Miesha Tate gets by Lauren Murphy, she gets to go straight up the middle. You know what I mean? She gets to go straight up the middle, skipping Andrade and Chikagian, and go straight to the title shot, which sucks for us, right? But that's how it's probably going to work out. So I would put Lauren Murphy there because she is a test for Tate and some of these other fighters like, you know, Grasso or Rujo. She'll be that first fighter that you get to before you get to the next 2. So Lauren Murphy, she's a legit gatekeeper now. I can't consider her a contender anymore because I don't think she will fight her way back to a rematch with the champion. She doesn't seem like she wants it at this point. She just seems like she'll just be a fighter. You know, she's 38, and she can still hold it down. She wouldn't be considered a journeywoman. You know, she'd still be considered a gatekeeper at this level for these other fighters because her style would still be trouble for these other fighters. Like I said, that was just Shevchenko. Look to your right, you got Jessica Andrade. Now, I know Jessica Andrade is one spot lower than Lauren Murphy, but this is Jessica Andrade. You know, Jessica Andrade may have got finished in 2 rounds quicker than Lauren Murphy. She got dominated really easy by the champion, but Jessica Andrade is still another type of monster. That was just a style thing. Like Lauren Murphy, she was able to last 4 against Valentina Shevchenko because of approach. You know, Valentina Shevchenko took a different approach because of the size and style, but Valentina Shevchenko, she was just able to handle Jessica Andrade handily because she knew what she was doing with that much smaller fighter. You know what I mean? She knew how to handle that small fighter, even though she packed so much power and strength. You know, she shut that style completely down. All right. But with that being said, even though Lauren Murphy lasted longer, Jessica Andrade is still one of the biggest, toughest fighters out there for any of these other fighters. You know, so she would still be that next gatekeeper that would be the big test before you get to Valentina Shevchenko. Why? Because look, Andrade is a finisher. Freakish power, has some of the most devastating finishes in the strawweight division and flyweight division. She finished Chikagan. She finished Calvillo. She finished Amanda Lemos at 115. Finished just about everybody at 115 she's fought, right? So she's just a threat. You know, she's just one of the biggest threats in the flyweight division and the strawweight division. Just a threat all around in WMMA. You know, the power, the strength, the athleticism, the speed, you know, doesn't really have like the best technique, but she makes up for it with all these other natural abilities, right? So if any fighter can get by her, they definitely deserve a title shot. So this is Manon Fiorot's task coming up. If Manon can completely shut down this little powerhouse and get the respect or finish her in devastating fashion, Manon would definitely earn that title shot because this is Andrade. At this point, you don't even have to break down Andrade. She's earned her spot at that gate to guard the throne of Shevchenko, right? All right, so looking to the far left, of course, would be the number 1, Katlyn Chookagian. Now, Katlyn Chookagian may not have any finishes in the UFC. She may not pack any power. She may not have a crowd-pleasing style, but she is number 1 for a reason. She has the 2nd most wins in the flyweight division, and no fighter's been able to go in there and handle that style. I mean, there's only been a few fighters that could, of course, right? Jessica Ai, the champ, and Andrade. But overall, these other flyweights have trouble. You know, she's earned that number 1 spot. So anybody that faces Katlyn Chookagian, it's always going to be 50-50. Even for Manon Fiorot. When Manon Fiorot's going to take her on, I still thought the fight was 50-50. Now, I'm going and picking Manon because I think she can do it. But when it comes down to it, you never know because though her style differs from Andrade, it's still like a big test in itself. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the opposite of everything Andrade is. You know, she's IQ, she's cardio, she's awkward, she's angles, she's got this chaotic style like she described. That's just, you know, these powerless punches, yet they throw a lot of fighters off. You know, it's these angles and it's these combinations and front push kicks that just tend to outwork these fighters. And, you know, all of a sudden they just find out they're behind on points, you know, because she's touching them. Like, they can't be hurt by these shots, but all the while they fall behind while she's touching them and they can't get her down, they're falling behind, you know? So that's the test. You know, that's the test for a lot of these fighters, if they can make that adjustment and go in there and handle that type of style. So that would have been a big test for Manon Fiorot to see if she could handle this big, long fighter and get her down and maybe out-punch her, out-strike her, or take her to the ground and just finish her, you know? So if anybody can get by her, this number 1 flyweight with the 2nd most wins, they definitely deserve a title shot. You know what I mean? Like, again, of course, she's not Andrade, but, you know, she is a big test within itself, and she's earned her spot. So, yeah, that's the picture. That's the road to the champion that I see, or I've always seen over the past, you know, year now. You know, you get by a Lauren Murphy or a Jennifer Maia. At this point, it's Lauren Murphy. You take on one of these fighters that are sitting at the, you know, right at the foot of the throne of Valentina Shevchenko. You get by one of them or 2 of them, and you're definitely guaranteed a title shot. So that's all I'm saying. At this point, Chookagian, Murphy, and Andrade, they are gatekeepers on a higher level. I can't really say they are full-on contenders. Maybe Katlyn Chookagian will be that contender again, you know, because she is on a 3-fight win streak right now, I think. And if she's able to get another win, she could argue a title shot again, right? She could argue her way to contender status again. But other than that, I'd say all 3 of these fighters are really just high-level gatekeepers because they are a test for everybody else, but they don't really show any threat at any point to the champion, or they don't really even seem like they've grown to they haven't really grown and improved in any way to contend with the champion again, if that makes sense. Like, if you really think about the word contender, do they have that style, or do they have those tools about them now that you've already seen them go the first time around? Have they had any improvements like that to contend with the champion? And I don't think so, right? But they could still very much well hand these other fighters work, like the ones on the come up, like Firo, Grasso, or Rujo. They are the ones that are, standing at the gate. They couldn't get it, so they got to go to the next best thing and be high-level gatekeepers, right? That's all I'm saying. They could earn a shot one day, but other than that, they'll be right where they are until somebody gets all three of these fighters out the way, right? So, yeah, guys, let me know in the comment section what y'all think. That's how I see it, high-level gatekeepers. Do you agree or disagree? Combo Breaker 99, I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.